We were going to do like a whole intro like that.
Okay. So
Okay.
what's the intro? It's
Yeah,
welcome.
so welcome. We are now
Live,
live,
and
and
it's very
very
halfway.
halfway.
Hmm.
Just you keep talking. I'll try to follow you. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
This
Yes, it
is a different live stream on the.
Just you can speak a little faster. I can follow you. Where? Yeah. Up.
Show.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Should we split in?
Should we do like the duality thing where we just? Wow.
Yeah.
That felt good.
All right. Yeah. I like better being one.
You're what?
I like better being one, like one complete person than two halves.
But we're not the same when we carry each other. Oh yeah. How are you doing, friend?
I'm good. I have a lot of time
on your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What's going on in your neck of the woods?
Well, I'm thinking about sharing the stream. So other than that, life is kind of, things are different at the moment. Spending time at home, cleansing been going through so many boxes today, and it's been
it's not a body cleanse, but
refreshing.
A box cleanse.
Box cleanse. So yeah, I started to really realize on a new level how much it makes sense to clean out your outer stuff to get a cleaner inner stuff. As a result, they are connected, it seems. So
yeah, it most certainly seems like there is mess on outside and mess on inside makes a whole lot of mess. Yeah. Mess plus mess equals infinite messiness.
Yes, exactly.
What was what did we call this episode? We call it QuaranTime?
Yeah, but the title disappeared, so it's not. So you can announce the title now, Ulf.
It's QuaranTime time.
QuaranTime.
Happy QuaranTime Day.
Yeah.
No? Should we not be joking at this hour? Is this serious?
I was clicking the stream, so I heard a double of what was talking. So I
sorry,
wasn't sure if you were talking to me or not.
It says at the top of the page, like, the coronavirus seems like a big threat to the whole world. Society is in lock.
Yeah.
And then I guess it goes on, but
Lockdown.
you can see the rest of the text. Lockdown. Yeah. That sounds like something that would happen in prison. Are we in prison now? Is this what prison feels like, man? Have you been to prison?
No.
I'm asking too many questions.
I was considering it, actually, because...
Could I tell you about a dream I had this time?
I want to say this first, that actually I was considering going to jail, because you can... I got a, like, what is speed, what do you call that?
Speeding ticket. Yeah, you were driving too fast with your fancy car,
Yeah, and it says that I had to choose between paying money or getting a free ticket for 3 days. Like free money, I mean free food, free space for meditation. And so it was tempting to check it out, what it's like. But the only risk, I wasn't sure if I haven't decided yet, but I was not sure if it means I cannot go to the US. I'm not willing to risk that. Then I'd rather pay some money.
Oh.
So
when you come to the customers, they're like, You've been
But
to jail, yeah, 3 days.
Other than that, I was thinking maybe it's a good idea. But now I got it anyway in this situation, so I don't really need to.
I had a dream. I had this dream where I'd done something illegal, and then I told my family we have to flee before anyone finds out. And then obviously someone found out, and they were like, I think it was my Annetta's parents who found out like we were fleeing. I was like, grab the most important things. I grabbed a coin, just a coin. That's all I grabbed, and like a small notebook. Very interesting. Should keep that in the back of my mind to have this coin. I had to look like forever to find the coin. It's a lot of work.
What was the coin about?
The coin?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a dream, man. It's hard to remember. But they came before we managed to flee, and they were like, "Oh shit, man, you're going to jail." And my first response was like, "Oh, I haven't tried that before," which I found to be interesting. But then I was like, "But doesn't that mean I'm not going to be with my family and like with my kids and my wife?" I was like, "Nah, but I'd rather flee." So I believe, like, because now I'm in prison with my kids and my wife, because this Corona thing is sort of putting society on lockdown. Is in lockdown.
Yeah.
What a treat! No, that's not, because people are dying, right? I couldn't be enjoying this. That'd be appalling.
So, let's have a summary of current circumstances.
Yeah, so I'm currently in my house in Drammen together with my wife and 3 kids, and we're all at home all day, every day.
Yeah.
We're homeschooling, and we're home cooking, and we're spending every minute together.
So, and what's happening in the outside world?
Well, there seems to be some sort of distress around this virus that's infecting people, and some people will die from this disease. Other people will just get like the flu or the cold, or like a similar experience. And so we've closed down the schools, and we've sort of said people should stay away from each other to avoid everyone getting sick at the same time, because that would be sort of bad for our society, because it would break down, especially for the sick, of course, because no one will be able to take care of them if everyone else is sick as well. So the really ill people need taking care of, and also would be more prone to getting really, really sick or dying from this virus that there is no antidote to currently. And this is sort of in all of Scandinavia, I guess. No, not in Sweden. They didn't close down the schools. They want to go a different route. But in Denmark and many other countries, people are staying at home, working from home, and well, it's sort of weird, right? We've from one day to the next, our entire society shifted from one way of life to a completely different one.
Yeah.
In a split second.
I think it's so interesting that it's happening. Because in many ways, when you go into the studies of the virus and all this, it's a big discussion if it's just overreacting. Are we just overreacting by the whole thing? Like Sweden isn't a good example on it, because they are taking another approach where they try to take care of the kind of the risk, the people that are in risk. Whereas in Norway and Denmark and other countries, they are just shutting down everything to make it not spread. There's a lot of discussion if it's just over, like if we just make too much of it. Yeah. But I find it really, really interesting that the reaction that is happening among people, and how this is really a good spot to, like, because everyone is put in the position where they cannot escape it, in the sense that they cannot run away from it. You have to somehow look into what this is doing with you as a person. Like, yeah, there is only so much Netflix and YouTube to watch before you're starting getting bored or starting getting scared. Yeah, but it's like, I also was thinking about this today, that this is a gift in the sense that we are so connected to our phones and social media and all of this. And I think also in this phase we are in now, for those people that are like, for those of us that are stuck at home, it's like at some point you're going to realize how attached you are to your device, because you're going to get so fucking bored of it that if you haven't figured out already, you will figure out that this thing is owning you, the cell phone, the Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're using as a drug.
So how many days do you think it would take for you to get to the point where you realize that these things that you hold so dear are not really beneficial for your well-being?
I think it depends on the awareness you have already. Like one thing is, like, if you are really into the mindset of going to work, and like you live through, your security is if you can give something to your work environment, then I think you're going to feel it pretty fast. That's, wow, I have to get back to work. I have to get back to the old ways of doing things, where I could work, have something important and meaningful to do. So I think then that's one kind of way you will figure out quite quick that you have something to deal with. If that's not your kind of main drive in life, you're already kind of in the mood where you can enjoy yourself and watch some TV, then I think it maybe takes a little longer until you realize that you're fucking tired of watching TV. So I think it depends, and like depends on people's way of dealing with things. I also see now that some people are. I also saw it just outside here that some people to spend time they go to pick up trash as a charity, and that's also really
like picking up litter in the streets.
Yeah.
That's smart.
So many good things comes out of this. Like for me, cleaning my closet and going through things that I've been waiting years to go through, it's also really useful. It helps me in my process of dealing with my garbage in my head as well. So I think everyone has their way of dealing with situation, and to the best of our effort, making it into something useful. But I think it's really it's different for everyone.
Do you think so? In now schools are closed for like 2 weeks, and do you think that's enough time?
I work at University College, and it's closed for 1 month.
That's a month, okay.
So, yeah.
So do you think a month is that enough time for people to have this realization, like to find value in this situation that we find ourselves in, or do we need more time?
I think it depends on like everyone has their own way. But I think that's
switch like try a different approach to this. Now 2020, it's a good year, and there's like a feeling. I feel this, and I
just have to open a window here.
Careful with the airborne spores will maybe get to you. I don't know. But this is a year of change. Now we've been talking about change for quite some time, like from a climate perspective, from like a mental health perspective, from a is our way of life like sustainable perspective, And now this happens, and it seems to coincide fairly perfectly with us sort of propelling into something better.
Yeah, but, I think it's
came to realize when we've been talking about this, like I've been talking with my wife, of course, and with you, and reading on the internet, that there's a lot of resistance into accepting this situation as it is, without sort of binning it into this is horrible, this is end of days, or obviously this is the best thing that could have ever happened. Now, we're sort of stuck in a horror film right now, right? Because we're isolated, and there is this threat that we cannot quite grasp, but it seems to be everywhere. Like anyone can have the virus, and it might be dangerous, it might not be dangerous. It might be very dangerous for some people, and it might be nothing for other people. So you sort of like just left in limbo when it comes to is this serious or not. It's not like we're not being invaded by a foreign state threatening to kill everyone who has brown eyes. So it's very subtle, and it's very like hard to like pinpoint exactly, which I feel is like the perfect invitation again for a reality check. Like what is this thing? Like why did the coronavirus why did this happen right now? Could we sort of surrender to the fact that this is exactly what Earth or our humanity needs right now, and could we use it to propel us forward instead of using it to sort of go backwards into sort of like, well, this might be the Black Plague all over again or something. Like, obviously, it's really easy to put on the scare show, but at the same time, it seems to me this is like the perfect opportunity to sort of find sort of like do a proper reality check as to, well, it seems that what the virus is doing is giving us something that we sorely need right now, which is isolation from each other, to actually be able to contemplate what are we really doing with our lives. And also we end up spending time with the people whom we actually came here to spend time with. So we actually need to show up into some things that we might have been avoiding for who knows how long, since the last plague, I guess.
I think this is a time where for a lot of people, I think this is a time where it's about realizing that there is like a much bigger reality than running after all these things that we have bought into as being life. It's like we have created all this structure that we call society, and that we have been trying to live out for so long, in so many ways, that once you just run into that system, you have no need of asking any questions. But now it's just you're just forced to take a break. It's not even a holiday in the sense that, oh, I've saved up money or I've earned this because so then I can be drunk in some beach somewhere and forget about everything until I get bored and have to get back again. This is not that kind of holiday. This is a kind of, you have to stop and you have to look at what are you actually doing? What's the point of all this? And because all the structures that you used to being there aren't actually working anymore. There is no turning back. There is no going back to what was before. If you're sitting at home now waiting for this to be over so you can go back to work, it's not going to happen in that way. It's not going to work. it's just gonna, if that's your way of dealing with it, it's either gonna be really painful right now, and then going back to work, and then you have to go through something similar again. So the only way out of this is actually to stop and look look into what it really is.
Would it be applicable to use the word surrender to this type of?
Well, you can apply the word. But it's many ways of explaining things, and of course, surrender makes sense. But it's really another way of looking at it. It always comes down to the same thing in a way, that surrender is part of that. But it's like, I think the journey through surrender, like the surrender point, is to realize that you're not going to go back. That's the kind of the first door you have to go through, that to realize that you can never go back to yesterday, no matter how smart you think you are. That's not possible.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away.
So it's for every kind of situation in life. If you're trying to obtain what you had, it's not going to help you. It's just going to be really, really painful. It's like these kind of cliches about if you're going through a breakthrough. I mean, what do you call that? Breakup. Or if you are getting fired.
Actually, it's good to call it a breakthrough and a breakup.
Yeah. That's a good point. But is that okay? So you're going to a breakup, or you're going to letting go of some relationship in some kind. It can be like a work relationship. You can get fired from work, or it can be that you lost something and then you want to find it again. I'm not saying it's impossible to find it again. I'm not saying it's impossible to get back together with someone. I'm not saying it's impossible to get into a work that you got fired from. All of those things are possible, but it's not possible in the way that you're getting back what was before. It will always become something new. And this is also with this situation, that you can never look for the back door. You have to go. You have to go through it to figure out what's the new thing, what's the invitation, what's the next step on the journey.
And this is an invitation. You know, we've been asking for this invitation for quite some time. Like, we need something to shift our focus, our society's focus. People have been asking for this for a long time. Now it's here.
So what do you mean by that? Because how is your take on why has this happened? If you want to explain it in that sense, like, if I'm not saying just looking through it as a victim mentality, but why are we here in the first place in this scenario?
Well, do you want to go back to the beginning of the whole thing, or do you just want to go to the beginning of, how far back do you want to go, bro?
As far as we need to make sense of it.
Well, so okay, when you chose to be born, you made a conscious decision to incarnate in this life called Rabbe, or for my behalf, this life called Ulf, and I had a very clear intention of what I was supposed to be doing when I came. Turns out I forgot, because that's part of the play. That's part of the fun with being here in this life, is that you forget. You remember, you forget. You remember your anniversary, you forget. This is life, and then you let sort of society define what your goal is. So you just sort of, you look outwards, right? So, okay, it seems like I want to be an editor, so, well, I'm good at that, so I'll continue doing that, and that seems to be working fairly well. But at the same time, somewhere within me, it's like, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this what I came here for? That seems sort of strange. And And then this feeling sort of grows inside of me, and I felt like, but where can I find the answers to these questions? Can I look further on the outside? And seems that nobody knows anything about anything, even though they claim to have some sort of like knowledge, but it doesn't seem to apply to my individual situation. So I continue to go to work while I'm like, but I'm not supposed to be here. And then this happens, and I can't go to work. So I actually have to sit down with myself and inquire as to what the heck did you come here for, Ulf? And when are you going to start living up to your intention, your true intention? Not that intention that you sort of concocted in your 20s when you were sort of looking to be approved by other people, or and it's like this type of thing, you know, shows up on a small level in your life every day. You know, you're confronted with this all the time, because this is the funnest thing with life, is that it's always here to help you on your way. But if you're not listening, it's going to up the volume a bit. It's going to sort of find new and fun ways to sort of give you a nudge to point in the right direction. And like, we all know that Western society, our way of life, is not sustainable, but we're sort of freaked out because it feels so good, right, to be sort of in abundance on a physical level, and if we're not just going to like take from the rest of the world and sort of burn down the rainforest and well, deplete the entire earth to get there, well, then it means that our lives are going to be something less than that. We're going to have to be poor people who don't get to eat fancy foods or have fancy houses or fancy cars anymore. What we're not seeing is that that's not what this is about at all. Because we need to we need to shift the stuff from up in. We've been sitting up here for quite some time. We need to move further down to the heart space and actually listen to what is life really about. And I've been meditating on this for quite some lifetimes, and it seems like family and your close travel companions, and actually meeting up with them and working with them and sharing the joy of life with them is what the whole thing is all about. And Lord behold, now we actually get that gift. But it might not be what we wanted right now, because we thought what we wanted was sort of like our career to go somewhere, or we wanted that trip to Hawaii or something, and none of that's happening. What we get is sort of like just exactly what we need right now. And obviously you can say, well, I didn't want to die right now because I got the virus and I had a prior condition, and it turned out that my entire body failed. And yes, from this perspective, that's gonna suck ass. But at some point, you're gonna have to look yourself in the mirror and say, is this all there is? And you're gonna have to answer that question honestly, and you're gonna have to answer not from this fellow here. You're gonna have to answer from here. And then all of a sudden the thing shifts, and your focus becomes completely different. And the coronavirus is a perfect invitation for that. And obviously we can just look at all the carnage and violence and the horrible stuff. But that's looking at the numbers Okay, so I invented a car, and I sold the car, and the car's great because you can get to places, but you can also have horrible motor accidents and die. So car seems to be, on one level, very like it's gonna advance us, but on a different level, it's gonna like fuck us up, because it's both. And the coronavirus is the same thing. Everything is this. It's gonna be good and bad, and you're gonna have to find a balance in that stuff.
Sure.
And that's hard.
I think it's like the way that life works, it seems, is that you have your idea of where you want to go. And very often that idea is not yours. It's kind of a collective idea that we grow up in this world and we believe what we're told, and we forget about things like you mentioned, and you create these ideas of where we want to reach. And those ideas are both kind of seducing you and making you chase them, that there is always some kind of obstacle that you haven't yet gotten to that point. So there's always a reason to hold on to it, because you're almost there all the time. Like work, or an idea of a relationship, or an idea of having enough money, all this kind of thing is kind of always seducing you to believe in the next version of the idea.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening all the time. Or to the other thing that can happen is that you actually realize the idea, and that's also not gonna, like, you. So you're either gonna be stuck in the chase of the idea, or you're actually gonna get to the finish line and realize just that how empty you are, because there is nothing there. And so that's also one way of getting to the point we are getting to now, is that you can actually, what can happen with you or to you or for you, is that you get to the finish line and realize it's empty. But this kind of awakening that we are going on in a collective way right now is that we are actually getting helped, so that we don't have to continue chasing the idea, because the world we have chased the idea on a collective level for so long that life is kind of taking charge a bit, or the mechanism of life is taking charge a bit to say, okay, this is enough. We have been doing this in a loop for so long that we are too far out. So there's a self-adjusting system, a self-correcting system that actually brings in some change by force. Eventually, it's how the whole thing is rigged. That because it's rigged for you to grow. So, and you have free will in that system, but you're also part of a collective. Like, there's a mechanism or how the whole thing works. So it will always take care of you, in the sense that it gives you a little nudge when you need one. Like this one we're getting now. Like, okay, we've been trying so hard to decide what life is instead of listening to what life is, that there is no space left. So it has to kind of push us a bit on the right course again. So you can say that in a way that is forced, that you're forced to stop, to really go into. So you're invited again on a bigger scale, because we haven't been listening. So life is talking louder and louder to make us listen. And this is kind of loud right now, saying, hello, are you listening? What's going on? Didn't we have a plan here? Or didn't we have a direction, or whatever? I don't know what we can call that, but we are part of something greater than this idea of life.
Could we take it one step further? Mm-hmm. Could we allow the situation that we are in now to be a part of that exact plan? Mm-hmm. So this is not us messing up. Mm. This is us.
No. Yeah, absolutely, like, absolutely.
Doing putting the puzzles together to actually advance to sort of like a next level. We've just made like a massive quantum leap But if you're just sort of looking at it from a limited, like, well, this thing, my life, my meat puppet, that's all there is. So a virus, that's gonna fuck everything up. But the moment I sort of step back, you know, into this guy, I'd like to call him Soul Ulf. He's more relaxed, you know, than Meat Puppet Ulf.
Yeah, the wonderful thing
by a lot.
The wonderful thing about that, but it is, I want to say it in a way that not to kind of take away the value of the human experience, or like
it's the most valuable thing I ever experienced, man.
Because when you take that shift, yes, you kind of take away, can you free yourself from the fear and from the seriousness of the world, or the realness of the world, because you have a different perspective where you can kind of look into all of that, but know that it's safe because you are not just that. But once you are just that, like you haven't realized yet, then that's all you are, because that's all you can experience right in that moment. Once you take that shift to see more, then we also realize how it's not about doing the right thing or fucking up or not, because the way what your soul is searching is not to do everything perfect, it's to experience. So by going through this terrible, you could say, situation we are in right now, that's probably a really valuable experience for the soul, or for the higher you, or the completeness of who you are. But on a human level, it can feel really terrifying or meaningless, or just scary. But so the part of waking up, that we are everyone on this earth are going through that process at some point of waking up, and that's the shift you are going through, is to gradually, on a new level, bigger and bigger scale, realize that you aren't just the meat mobile, as you call it. You aren't just the human. You are also spirit or soul or whatever, experiencing life through a human body. And it is the completeness of being both, and realize you're both in one experience, that makes it really fun.
Yeah, that's the word of the day, right?
Yeah.
Because this life can always be interesting, fun, and enjoyable at some level, but only if you manage to let go of the idea that you're only your limited self. Because and I can only say this from my own experience, of course, but I can also say that it most certainly feels that when I'm sort of allowing myself to connect to something bigger than myself, that this feels like a very this is our common ground, and this is the thing that we all need remembering, and again, that this is why we are broadcasting this thing right now. Is actually part of sort of showing up to the whole to the game, to the fun, and I know this is hard at times, you know, because things will get insanely crazy bananas at times, and you know, that is the crucial point, and just like when this virus hits our sort of society, it's a matter of staying grounded into sort of, well, what serves us best right now. And for instance, what I like about now we live in Norway, and Norway's reaction, I really sort of feel that felt really like attuned to me. We're just gonna sort of like collectively put brakes on everything now, and everyone stay sort of like stay put, and we're gonna get through this together. but that's not going to be through continuing pretending like this is not affecting our lives, but we're going to just stay at home, and we're just going to like be cool. And then that's going to actually serve us. And what I like about it is, like, on a deeper level, this serves us, like we talked about earlier, in terms of actually allowing us to become better connected with ourselves through actually looking into what do we want to spend our lives doing. Is what we were doing 2 weeks ago really what we came here to do? And what I need to stress is, like, you actually have to dare ask that question properly to yourself. Is this what I wanted to be doing? And then you have to dare listen to the answer. Like, because that answer will typically not, the answer, it's like, it's at the tip of your tongue all the time.
But it's like,
the typical quote, it's like, I hate my job, but it pays my bills, so I'm going to go there anyways.
But it connects to this. There's actually one comment that I want to show here, but first I just want to answer that.
Are you going to do some fancy stuff?
No, first to just what you were saying is, like, I think that really connects us with this. For me personally, it has been the biggest impact on this so far has been this realization that I cannot excuse myself anymore. There is no more places to hide. Like, I've known for years that I'm here to do something, but I've always been telling myself ways that it's okay to wait, or ways that it's okay to not do it because of paying the bills, or not push the comfort zone too much, or like all kind of excuses. That's fine. That's been part of the experience. But what's happening now is kind of that there's no more places to hide. And I think what it connects people to this thing is that it connects people to really look at the question, or the automatic statement that many people have is either that they don't know what they're here to do, or that they cannot because of X, Y, Z, or whatever. And that's why they continue. But now everything is kind of crashing of the old structures that made it possible for you to kind of hold on to those statements. So it doesn't really work anymore to really hold on to those statements. So the quote, I don't know why the comment didn't show up in the Be Live app we're using. So I'm just going to try to paste it here and read it. Let's see.
I'm going to read a comment. That's pretty cool.
Did it show up? No. No.
Oh, that's okay. You can read it.
Okay, I'm going to read it. Cool. I'm sorry if I'm saying the name wrong, but it's Graham. He's saying, I get a strong feeling that the global alarm clock is going off with no snooze mode function available. A huge number of global citizens are going to be waking up as the awakened ones with a bigger picture. It is time to step up to presence and hold space for those that are not. Be the calm. Time to be. It is heartening to listen to truth. We are one. Namaste, brothers.
Oh, namaste.
Thank you for commenting
and
for those nice words. And I think it really makes a lot of sense to me. And one of the things I've been, when I was saying all that to waking up, or to not being able to hide anymore, what I also been realizing is this kind of sense that I've been waiting for this, like, or even to say I've been trained for this. Like, the reason that, I think that's the way the world works, that we are waking up in groups, or in different waves of the ascension process. And some of us have been waking up for years now to go through all this stuff, to be prepared for it, so that when the world is going to the next phase, there are some people here to talk about it. Just as people has been talking about this to me when I needed it, there is now a new wave that needs this kind of presence, where people are talking about it, because a lot of people are ready to start listening to these kind of things now, because we are forced to. There is nowhere to hide.
I like the thing you said about we've been rehearsing this. That really speaks to me. Like, you know, I love this feeling that we've been planning this for ages, man. You know, we've been planning this party for eons, and you know, everything people are getting into sort of like the right positions. Everyone's sort of like, oh, what's gonna happen? Are we gonna do it? Are we really going to do it this time? Because, you know, we've been sort of playing around with this for quite some time. Like, I remember back in dinosaur days, we had like, you know, fun sort of playing with the idea of actually just saying out loud, like, this thing is actually lit. And we sort of choked on that. And I do believe that was perfect in its own way. And now we're here.
Yeah.
And I've been like lately been contemplating, like, and you and I've been speaking about, like, there's a lot of talk. You know, there's a lot of
we are talking a lot.
we're talking, and like, we need to sort of put this into action. And I know, you know, I said we should hug each other, and this is not the time to be walking around hugging each other. That's a horrible advice.
Maybe it is.
But there is something there is something here. There is a package of information being, like, sort of conveyed to us about how we need to transform this thing from just sitting around talking about, you know, like I like you know, climate change is an interesting example. You know, we've been talking about, since I went to like grade school, we've been talking about this problem with global warming, or climate change, and how we need to do something. And nobody's been doing anything. I've not been doing anything. We're just sort of steadily going along, because that doesn't really matter, because we're finite beings in meat puppet bodies, and we only live for 80 plus years. So who gives a shit? And all it took was for us to take, like, the planet seriously for one day, and our way of life just shifted drastically in one day.
True.
We could do this anytime, like, with our eyes closed. But still, we sort of insist on just sitting around talking about it. And I do feel that this is an invitation to put our money where our mouths are. You know, like, okay, so you're talking about, okay, now we're giving you a timeout. Like, okay, if I was Mother Earth, I'm like, okay, you've been messing around now for quite some time, and this seems to be like sort of just about the right moment in time where we need to sort of switch things up a bit. So I'm gonna sort of, through you know, in movies you talk about with Deus Ex Machina, you know, the where you sort of use, like, an external force to shift the story, but it doesn't really feel like it came from any of the characters in the film. So it's like when you're script writing, it's sort of like a trick to get the characters to change. You sort of throw something at them. Well, this is our subtle slap in the face, as to sort of, well, now it's about time to wake up.
Yeah.
Unintended. And question is this? I do believe this is actually the time where we're gonna actually follow through.
Yeah, it seems, and it's like a way that I've been explained to look at it that really resonates with me, is how it's also like when you're shifting, like, we are kind of in one reality all the time, but we aren't, in the sense that when you're going through a wake-up process, you're kind of starting to resonate with different kind of layers or different realities. And where we are in the point right now, the shift we're going through is both for us that are waking up or have been waking up for a while, but also the next process, the next phase or the next wave of people waking up is also about this. We're shifting into actually kind of a new timeline, a new reality. So we, in one way, we can kind of identify with the old ways of doing things, which would mean holding on to the fear, going through the fear, kind of freaking out, going through all this kind of humanness in a way, in an old-fashioned way. So then, and that would mean to try to fix all the problems from the place they were created. But that's not really possible. The way to fix the problem is to allow this new energy, this new kind of reality to emerge. That's a new timeline that we are invited to hold space for, really. So when we are walking the earth right now, for those who are capable at this point to hold that space for a new timeline to emerge, which means hold on to the love or hold on to the peace of heart, in a way, if you want to say it simple. But that's creating space for other people to go through their processes so that the collective shift happens smoother or easier. That makes sense. Yeah. And to me, those kind of things are very visual. Like, I'm a visual person, so I see it so clear that when I'm shifting different realities within myself and how my complete world changes out of that. Maybe other people see it different ways, but that's my way of looking at it. Like, I see it as physical timelines. And since I'm an TV editor as well, I'm very good at looking at timelines. So, yeah.
Where do we go from here, man? So it's we're sort of now we're sort of seeing like the contours of a shift, and what I think is really pretty damn amazing is that the shift is actually happening.
Yeah, it is.
And it's you know, like at the end of the Bible, there's like this, well, it's going to be a shift, you know, and then the religious people have been talking about the shift ever since. Like, but there's going to be a shift. We're not quite sure what it's going to look like, but it's going to be a shift. This is the fucking shift, man.
It is.
Because
I think it's like that's now finally the comment works, and I wanted to read the last one that came in. Like, I can show it also on the screen now, because this is my point. Like, this whole and thank you for writing it. I still don't know how to say your name, Graham or Graham. But my point is that that this, when you're talking about see a glimpse of what is to come, and I think for maybe it's just me, but I think it's for all of us that have been awake for a little while, or like have been looking into this, is that you can so clearly choose, like, it is so easy to be dragged into the fear, but it's also, when you find peace, really possible to see a glimpse, like see a sense of feeling of the new world that is emerging. And I think our job as people in this process is to believe, like, there is no proof of that thing, but you know it's there, it's coming, it is in creation. So our job is to believe in that, like to walk that path, and to let go of, and not to judge the old, but to hold space for the old to cleanse, like for people that needs to go through that process. And it's just beautiful, because we're all in it together. And I'm getting emotional talking about it, because it's so beautiful, and that's why I'm here.
That's why you're here. That's why we're here. It's sort of cool, right? When it's it falls into place. And you see that you are part of something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
And it's and actually trusting that. You know, the doubt, or obviously the fear, it's going to sort of be like your greatest obstacle. Like way back when, you know, like when the Buddha was sitting under the Bodhi tree. The final question, like the final thing, is like the doubt of your position in the whole thing. Who do you think you are? I believe Mara asks the Buddha. And this is like, again, we're always going to come to this point as human beings, like, who do you think you are? And you, Rabbi, are it. You're the guy who's going to bring about the change in the world. And Grama is the one that's going to bring about, and I am. We all are, but we have to actually step up to the plate, and we have to trust each other, and we have to actually see that there is this, you know, I like to call it the brotherhood, even though it's also obviously gender neutral. Just I like the sound of that.
Crew, as you have been saying before.
my crew, and or like, you know, this movie. Now he's going off on movies again. I'm sorry, but it felt right at the time. In the Blues Brothers, these two guys come out of prison. Oh shit, we're in prison right now, man. Well, they come out of prison, and you know what they do? They're putting the band back together. And then they just drive around and they go to people who hate their jobs and say, you know, guys, you don't have to do this anymore because we're putting the band back together. And a lot of them have massive resistance as to going with these two loonies in black suits. Oh shit, we're wearing black suits as well. Fuck me. This gets even better. And we're not wearing them right now. Sorry, that would make for great dramatic effect. But okay, so and people are like, but I have bills to pay. I can't just leave this work at the restaurant, because that's the scene that comes to mind. You know, they're eating and disturbing all the customers, and the guy has to sort of like, oh, okay, I quit my job and I go with you. And all they have is this: we're on a mission from God, and we're going to put the band back together. And right now we're all in prison to give us like the space and time to sort of get comfortable, because we're putting the fucking band back together, man. And I know for a fact that the people who I met on my path, well, that's my brother, that's my crew. We're in this together, and now we're gonna do this thing. I don't think it's a rock concert. I think it's vastly more insane than that. But at the same time, you know, it's a leap of faith. And you know what's got to go before you can make the leap? That's the fear, man. The fear that's going to just hold you back, you know. Obviously, it's going to be there, but you sort of, you know, you need to remember that in your backpack, you got like all the skills, you got all the stuff, you got all your brothers and sisters among you, ready to do the thing that needs to be done for us to sort of get to the party, which we're already at, of course, but we're playing a game over here, and you know, part of the fun with the game is remembering that this is what we always wanted to do, and that this is what we came here for, and like feel that, stay present in that.
It's so, it's magical to be in that position. Like, I'm talking about it based on being for so long in this lifetime and probably other lifetimes, not knowing, like, why am I here? But now I know.
Yeah.
I was
why
blind.
am I here? And now I see.
Blind, but now I see.
So that's the whole song. Goddamn, it's like that's grace.
Yeah, it's grace.
Damn, man. You know, I wish I could hug you right now, but because of this virus, we can't. Okay, so I'm gonna do like you're doing it the wrong way, right? You're so. Yeah, that's great. That's a virtual hug, and to all our viewers and listeners also, like, I love you guys. It's this we're doing it.
We're doing
Holy
it.
shit.
And I want to say, also to those who listens that things we're talking about now, like if you know, and it's okay also not to know. It depends on your path, like where you are in your own path, and there is no way to compare your path to someone else. But if you know that it is time to step up, to live your mission or live your purpose or whatever you want to call it, please do. Because we need you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need you. It is
We're
time.
putting the band back together.
Yeah. You're not alone. You're part of this. You're part of this whole thing. We all are.
Everything's connected. Everything's connected.
There is nowhere left to hide, and there is no need to hide.
Oh shit, that's beautiful, man. Do you know that in 2020, that's the year when we stopped the blame game? Isn't that cool?
Yes, that's very cool.
It's pretty cool. I
like that.
You know, I always wondered what you were, and you're my blues brother, man.
Yeah. What's your instrument?
Well, you know, I'm a dancer, man. My body is my instrument. That sounds weird, but at the same time, what's your instrument, my brother?
It would be probably like I don't know. I'm gonna be the speaker. Like I'm gonna talk, singer.
You're the words man.
The words man.
So Grammar recommends us listening to the Train song by Kirtana.
I could play the chords on the piano.
You can play chords?
Yeah.
You know, I can play a little guitar. I can do the guitar.
I can also play harmonica.
The harmonic? What the
thing that you blow into the piano.
That's my favorite instrument in the world.
Yes. It's so much fun.
Oh, the song. Oh. You know what song, man? How do we sing the song now? I hadn't prepared for that. No, let's give him a second. Did I even haven't forgotten to make a quote even? Shit. But this is sort of like a QuaranTime special.
Yeah.
So I'm forgiven, right?
You're forgiven.
You're
still radiating your frequency, so it has the same effects.
Oh, that's nice. Took that literally. Yeah. But still, you know, we always end the show with the song.
That's true.
Is this the end of the episode?
I think it's the end of the episode.
I'm gonna have to watch Blues Brothers again, you know, with my Blues brother. We should invite some more of our crew along. Have like a movie night.
Yeah. Would be nice. Maybe this is the movie night though.
I had this thought a couple of minutes ago, and I'm going to share it because I liked it. Do you know what God would say if he came down to earth right now and saw what was going on?
He would say,
God God damn, I'm so proud of you all, because what you're doing is like far beyond what I imagined you capable of ever. I am in awe. You have surpassed me. I am but a mere creation of you, as I thought you were a creation of me.
Does it say that with like, you know, like with love, or is just like I could never imagine? I can never imagine you guys fucking up that much. You know?
That's with so much love. I believe actually the amount is infinite.
Yes, that makes sense.
You know, God is in between you and me, man, or in between whoever we talk to. That's where the space is. That's what happens. Okay.
Are we going to sing the song, or are you going to sing the song?
I'm going to sing the song.
Okay.
Well, I don't think I'll be able to play the like backing track, but that's doesn't matter, does it? I can just sing. I'm gonna have to read the lyrics because my memory is
okay,
half good, half bad. So thank you all for tuning in. This has been a profoundly wonderful experience for me, and
likewise.
Yeah,
and we'll be back.
We'll be back.
Yes,
as always.
And
do. And get it, if you felt this resonate with you, get in touch.
Yeah,
we're here, not
share
going anywhere.
With people that needs to listen to it, and stay true to your heart. You know where to go. You know what to do, and we're in this together.
We're in this together on this great rock. Yeah.
And thank you. I still don't know how to say the name. Grammy. Thank you so much for your comments, and I love that you're with us.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love you, man. Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's good to have you as part of this.
Tribe. That's also a nice word, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so I'm gonna now sing the outro song, which is an all-time classic of ours. Okay. Just gonna clear my corona throats. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful
world.
The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands. Well, not currently, because they'll get like an infection.
Yes.
Hey, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I see babies crying. I watch them grow. They'll learn so much more than I'll ever know. Then I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.